Now, there are a lot of people, in fact, most everybody you know, spends most of their time outside the vortex. They don't know about vibration. They don't know what their emotions mean. They want to be positive, and they try. They make some effort to be, but they're not really managing their vibrational flow very well. So most people are outside the vortex most of the time. And then they gather together in groups, on the internet, or just in neighborhoods. Law of attraction sort of brings them in their similarities together. And they come up with conclusions about how they and everybody else should live life. Laws are made from that group. In other words, they are the ones that decide. They sort out the good piles from the bad piles, and they decide what's the right way of life and what's the wrong way of life. And we will acknowledge that among those outside the vortex efforters, that it is evident when someone is trying and when someone isn't. They have diplomas. They have better paying jobs in many cases. They live in nicer houses in many cases. You can tell which ones are trying and which ones aren't in that out of the vortex group. But friends, it's the out of the vortex group. It's like being king of the molehill. It's the out of the vortex group. In other words, the masters come from in the vortex. Your clarity, your inspiration, your creations, your inventions, your wonderful new ideas, your zest for life comes from the inside the vortex group, you see. So we're not wanting to make you feel bad when you're out of the vortex, because certainly it adds to the step one experience. We just want you to get this into perspective and realize that next time you find yourself really digging in and trying hard, that you're working against yourself, and you might want to just chill for a while and remember who you are. Maybe listen to some meditation. Maybe count your breathing. Maybe get in sync with some music. Maybe bask a little. Maybe do something that is pleasing. Maybe do anything or everything that you can think of to release the tension that is holding you outside the vortex. And it is our promise to you that once you are aware of the existence of this vortex, and once you are aware of your guidance system, which lets you know where you are in proximity to it, and once your mantra, once your motto, once what really matters to you is, today, no matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, no matter who I'm doing it with, it is my dominant intent to look for what I'm wanting to see. I'm agreeably oriented. I am appreciatively oriented. I comment on things that I appreciate. And when I feel an impulse to criticize, I sit on it. I don't go with it. I don't make more of it. I don't amplify it with words. I don't amplify it with groups. I don't comment on it. I no longer am trying, efforting myself into a better place. I'm practicing the art of allowing. Because I've now discovered that my inner being is in my vortex and calling me home, calling me toward all that I've become. And if I am even hanging around in the vicinity of hopefulness, my vortex calls me in on a really regular basis. And once you start living more of your life from inside the vortex, you'll have more insight. You'll have better timing. You'll feel better. Your sense of humor will be keener. Your sense of intelligence will be keener. You'll think of things, those to-do lists. You won't have to drag them around. You'll be at the grocery store and you'll remember what you want. You'll be moving through life and the right thing at the right time will occur to you. You'll be tuned in, tapped in, not to a memory bank, not to a to-do list in your head, but you'll be tapped into the vibrational equivalent of all that you have become, who knows who you really are in relationship to who and where you are at all times, in all moments of all days. Talk about a concierge. Talk about an impulse giver. It's like walking through life with somebody who not only knows who you are, but loves who you are, who is constantly hinting and opening doors and orchestrating circumstances and events in order to allow you to be all that you can be. Hesitating just at the right moment so that you're not in the elevator with that person, but you are in the elevator with that person. Finding yourself hesitating in traffic just right so that it opens for you so that you can make your lane shift. In other words, there are so many things that many of you might call inconsequential or insignificant that just make the flow of life so remarkable. When you live life from inside the vortex, you're living life as you intended. Because you are a powerful creator who said, I'll go forth, I'll choose from the buffet, I'll identify what I want, and I'll line up with it. And I'll do it again and again and again and again, because lining up with who I am is the zest of life that I've always been looking for. You think it's the manifestations, and we want you to have manifestations. We're not trying to talk you out of the glitter or glitz or beauty or anything that you want. We want you to have the manifestations. But we're here to tell you, you didn't sign on for the manifestations. You signed on for the movement toward what you want. You signed on for this 3-step process. You signed on for the choosing from the buffet, for the launching of the rockets, and for the exhilaration of lining up with who you really are. Coming home, coming home, coming home. So, we're eager to talk with you about anything you want to talk about. We don't want to have talked you out of any subject, because all subjects are appropriate. We want you to know that our role, if it is to be an advantage to you, is to stand here inside your vortex, firmly, clearly, knowing who you really are. And as we visit with you collectively, as we've been doing already here, or individually, as we choose you to come to the hot seat, it is our desire to offer insight and vibrational pathways to make it easier for you to come into vibrational alignment with who you are. We want you to put the word ease, easy, in one of your good piles. Because there are a lot of people who believe that ease means lazy. And we want you to know that ease means leverage. Ease means alignment. Ease means lining up with the power and the energy and the resources of who you are. So, what do you want to talk about? It's going to be a wonderful day. So, one of the first things that we always want to help people to come to personal understanding of is that the larger part of you is source energy in your vortex, aware of you, and not just what you were before you were born into this physical body, but the evolved being as a result of that which you have been doing while you've been here. In other words, the larger part of you has become so much more because you have done what you came to do. You sifted and you sorted and you decided and you expanded, you evolved. You are an eternal being. This is the process of that, you see. So as your vortex has evolved, as the being that you really are has evolved, you have one thing and one thing only to be aware of, and that is, how do I stand right here, right now, in relationship to who I really am? And the emotion of love, the emotion of appreciation, your emotions are your key to let you know how you're doing. So, we are eager to visit with you about anything that is important to you. You will notice as you watch and hear and participate that our primary intention is to stand inside your vortex where you are, calling you in through the path of least resistance, in the way that is easiest for you to find your way there. We want you to understand that this is not a gathering where we come holding all the answers and you come holding all the questions. It is a gathering of co-creation at its best. You don't even have to sit in this chair to participate, because the thought of that which you are, the thoughts that you have as we are moving along, the energy of who you are, it's all part of this magnificent mix. And you will notice as we are moving through the hours that we are together today, that whether you sit here and verbalize or whether you sit out there and just think and be who you are, that we will hear you clearly, and there is nothing that will be left unanswered as we are moving through this day. We also want you to recognize that it isn't just about questions and answers. It's about expansion and evolution. This gathering has never been before into all of the universe. This is a unique gathering of that which is you and that which is us. Your inner beings are all gathered. In other words, the source within you is present. And so as we play together, talking about the details of things that are important to you, what you are going to feel is the expansion of this vortex. You're going to feel expansion of ideas. We're going to take thought beyond that which it has ever been before. Now, you're doing that all day, every day. You certainly don't need us for that. But what this gathering is going to demonstrate in a way that we are certain that you will feel is that as together we come to these new places, you will feel in the beginning of these launches of these rockets, you will feel this new expanded place to which you may not be up to speed in the moment that it is launched. But as we chew together, you're going to feel yourself coming up to speed. And as you come up to speed with it, the same knowing that we hold about the subject that is at hand will be your knowing as well. Because you will be a vibrational match to that which we have collectively expanded to. You see how it works? Cherry and Esther were just with friends and us on a Panama Canal cruise. It was very interesting because they went through some of the locks of the canal, and this massive ship needed to be raised 84 feet. 84 feet. That's what the difference in the water level was from one body of water to the other. There was no rocket ship that launched them. Fortunately, it would have been hard on the ship and the passengers if it had happened in that way. Instead, something very clever that was set into motion a long, long time ago. The ship moved in to a lock, and the gate was closed behind them. And then water was added to the lock until the ship was raised. And then, when the ship and the water around it was at the same level as the next lock, the gates opened, and the ship just moved gently, ease and flow, into the next lock. And then again, the gates were closed, more water was added, the ship raised more, the gates were open, and in they went again. Until this massive ship with all of these passengers was moved easily, effortlessly, painlessly from one vibrational place, so to speak, to another. We thought the analogy was so appropriate because so often when you're not where you want to be, you badger yourself, or you force yourself, or you effort yourself. You try so hard. It's like trying to jump the 84 feet with this big ship. And we want you to know that if you'll just chill, if you'll just stop doing that thing you do that's keeping you in that resistant vibration, your vibration will raise, the locks to your vortex will open, and in you will go, you see. It is not supposed to be hard for you. Life is supposed to feel good to you. Life is supposed to be fun for you. You are genius creators who have come forth into this magnificent time-space reality. Best environment ever for deliberate creation. You have come because you are creators. We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. It is delicious to come to an environment like this where you are willing to sit and listen to us with the express purpose of moving your vibration upward. We've had a wonderful day of unfolding into new places. There have been several things that we've never approached before, never even come close to before, that we not only came to, but the majority of us collaborated and understand it fully. We are eager about what's before you, not because what was before you played with us here was not pleasing, but because what's before you now that you've played here is going to be obvious to you that it has been enhanced by what we have done here today. In other words, as things unfold over the next few days, you will know without question that it is as a result of your willingness to experience this vibrational shift. It is co-creating at its best. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain eternally in the vortex.